78 Sports TV here. So I'm checking out my boy Boxing Beats and Rhymes page.
Doing it from Boxing Beats and Rhymes channel.
This is Tony Thompson, chilling with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Excellent, you chilling with Boxing Beats and Rhymes. This is that mere hardcore man store on Boxing Beats and Rhymes YouTube channel.
I don't know if you answer. Possible Manny Pacquiao fight with Floyd Mayweather. How you feel about that?
Well, basically, it's a fight that still has the potential to happen.
George Groves has ruled out the rematch with James DeGale for the vacant IBF super middleweight title. And he's going to wait for Sauerland Promotions, who he's contracted to, and Anthony Durrell and his promoters to contact the WBC over their decision to give Durrell a 4-month mandatory defense extension. See, he's not even a mandatory for this belt here, and he's already got a ready-made title against DeGale, which would sell out in Britain. But he's going the way he thinks is best. And there's a few stumbling blocks over Durrell getting to free himself, Anthony Durrell, to get to Groves. So I don't understand that when there's a ready-made title. He said he's sticking with the WBC because he's put in a lot of work to get to where he was. Come on, man. That sounds silly. It sounds silly. Shawn Porter is currently in training. He's facing Roberto Garcia. Isn't that the guy that I see Matisse knock out last year for March the 13th? And he's interested in facing the winner between Lucas Matisse and Provodnikov. They're both at 140, so he's expecting them to move up, which is calculated, to say the least, on Shawn's part. He's calculating that will negate some of the power, that they'll lose some of the power by moving up to 147. They're not naturally 147 pounders. I can't remember none of them fighting at that weight limit. I can't remember that. I tell a lie. Provodnikov did fight Tim Bradley for his belt. This will be Porter's first fight since losing his titles to Kell Brook last summer or spring. Can Paul Smith, in a week and a half or so, settle the score with Arthur Abraham in their WBO World Super Middleweight Championship rematch on February the 21st in Berlin, Germany? I thought Smith won the first fight last year. I thought he won it. He said he's very confident. I have a feeling, though, the second fight is going to be way more difficult than the first. I'm not sure if he can box any better. I'm not sure if Abraham can box any better. I just think it's going to be very, very difficult. But that's boxing. You're going there because it is difficult, not because it's easy. Keith Thurman said he wants to draw blood from Robert Guerrero when they square off in Al Heyman's Premier Boxing Champion Series. This is the first fight of that series. He says he wants to knock out Guerrero. Basically, he wants to do better than what he did against Leonard Bundu. He wasn't happy with his performance. He said it was lackluster. He said he wants to outdo Floyd Mayweather Jr. Well, he's setting the bar very high, and that's what you have to do if you're a boxer. If you want to be one of the best, I've got no problems with that. Guerrero does have a very good chin. He does have a better jab than a lot of people are advertising in this fight here. He's bigger. He's got the bigger reach. He's a strong welter. I see it as a very hard fight, Floyd is Floyd. I'm not going to try and sing Floyd as God Almighty. I'm not going to do that. But Floyd boxes how Floyd boxes. And, as fans, you don't have to accept it, but it is what it is. I think it's difficult to forecast your fight and compare how you're going to box compared to Floyd. I think it's a difficult task. I don't think the performance against Bundu was lackluster. I had a feeling it was going to go the distance. That's what I predicted. I don't think it was lackluster. I think there could be a little too much expectation in what Thurman is and who he could be. He could be the real deal, but time will tell. I think he's got the potential to be a great fighter. I'd like to see Floyd fight him eventually. If the Pacquiao fight falls through, I'd like to see that fight before Khan. But, we'll see how it goes. He's got to get through Guerrero first. This isn't no foregone conclusion, Not a foregone conclusion. I certainly ain't predicting a knockout for Thurman. They don't go over like that at this level here. If he gets a knockout, yeah, it'll be impressive. It'll be very impressive. If he can be the first man to stop Guerrero. Guerrero has a granite chin. Does Thurman have a granite chin? I think he's going to get hit in this fight. I think he's going to get hit. I don't think Guerrero's just going to let him walk through him. I just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. It's going to be very interesting. Very interesting fight. Look, it's great being a puncher. Here's my opinion on boxing. Yeah, if you have good legs and a good jab, use it. Don't try and prove yourself. Even though Guerrero ain't a big banger, don't leave yourself open and at risk. What's the point of doing that? Box how you got to box. If you see the openings, get rid of your man. But if you've got superior foot speed, hand speed, and movement, use it. John Molina, he says Floyd Mayweather will beat Miguel Cotto in a rematch, and I agree. Omar Figueroa versus Ricky Burns, potential matchup that Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Sports is trying to make between former champions. This fight will take place at the junior welterweight limit, or a weight between 135 and 140. Nothing has been finalized. Ricky will have to come in way better shape though, way better shape than his last fight. The fight will take place on April the 18th on the undercard of Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Andre Fonfara. Right, so is that confirmed? Chavez and Fonfara? I don't know. Looks like Chavez is occupied and ain't Froch injured. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. For anybody who cares, Anthony Thompson and Orlanier Solis, their fight is postponed. Team Sauerland is going to extend their promotional agreement with Kubrat Pulev, who got buried by Vladimir Klitschko last year. 3 Zimbabweans were found guilty on Tuesday of killing former world heavyweight boxing champion Corey Sanders during an armed robbery. Judge Ferdy Preller convicted 3 men of murder, robbery with aggravating circumstances, and illegal firearm and ammunition possession. Sanders was shot, 46 years of age, at a country lodge attending his nephew's 21st birthday party. He died the next day in hospital. He moved in front of his daughter to protect her. He was already bleeding from wounds to his arm and stomach when he pulled her to the ground and told her to pretend that she was dead. 2 of the guests identified the perpetrators at the identity parade. The 3 were arrested a few days later. Sentences will be handed out, today. Corey Sanders, he was in a thriller with Hasim Rahman, multiple knockdown fight. He lost that one. He actually knocked out Vladimir Klitschko for the WBO heavyweight title back in the day. He had fast hands and a big punch. He did fight Vitaly Klitschko, I think, for the same WBO crown. Really good heavyweight fight, actually. Really good fight. But Vitaly overwhelmed him in the mid-rounds, I believe. Fred Jenkins, trainer of Bryant Jennings, he says that Klitschko looked like an old man in his last fight. I didn't see that, but if you saw that, you saw that. But they have home territory advantage. And who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? It's a good matchup. It's a good match. I just don't think Jennings can bridge the gap between the two, but it's a good matchup. It's better, way better than some of the opponents we've seen fighting for the world title in recent years. It's a good matchup. Can't be mad at that. £28,000 English money worth of watches and a large number of €500 notes were stolen during a burglary at Ricky Hatton's home after he tweeted he was away. Thieves ransacked that boxer's house in Hyde, Greater Manchester, after breaking in between the 30th of January and the 2nd of February, the police said. He had earlier tweeted he was heading to London for an appearance. You see, these guys, they're on it 24/7, man. Just because you don't live that life, there's people looking for any chance to exploit that shit, man. You know, they're grimy. A 37-year-old woman has been arrested on suspicion of burglary and released on bail pending further inquiries.